Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the brain tumors. If you see, these brain tumors are the second most common malignant disorder in the childhood and in adolescence. And histologically, if you see, the gliomas account for the majority of malignant tumors. So gliomas are the most common malignant tumors. There are some hereditary syndromes which are associated with higher risk of brain tumors. So we will see first the syndromes which are associated with brain tumors. So if you see, we have neurofibromatosis 1, which is an autosomal dominant disorder due to the defect in gene NF1 on chromosome 17q11 chromosome. This is associated with many brain tumors like optic. It is associated with optic pathway gliomas. It is associated with astrocytomas, neurofibromas, malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumors. So these are the different tumors with neurofibromatosis 1 is associated. Neurofibromatosis 1 is an autosomal dominant condition which includes NF1 gene on chromosome 17q11. It is to this neurofibromatosis, tumors like optic pathway gliomas, astrocytoma, malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumors and neurofibromas are associated. Next we have neurofibromatosis type 2. This neurofibromatosis type 2 is an autosomal dominant condition. Here there is mutation in the gene NF2 gene on chromosome 22q12, and this neurofibromatosis type 2 is associated with vestibular schwannomas most commonly, and it is also associated with meningiomas, spinal cord ependymomas, and also spinal cord astrocytoma and hamartomas. So neurofibromatosis type 2 is an autosomal dominant condition with NF2 mutation in NF2 gene on chromosome 22q12. It is associated with vestibular schwannomas, meningioma, spinal cord ependymoma, astrocytoma and hamartoma. Then if you see, we have von Hippel-Lindau's disease, which is also autosomal dominant condition where there is VLH gene mutation on chromosome 3p2526. And this is associated with the tumor hemangioblastoma. Then we have next syndrome, that is we have tuberous sclerosis. This tuberous sclerosis is an autosomal dominant condition which is due to the defect in gene TSC1 on 9q34, and it is associated with subependymal giant cell astrocytoma. It is associated with subependymal giant cell astrocytoma and also cortical tumors. Okay, tuberous sclerosis, it is associated with TSC1 on 9th chromosome and TSC2 on 16th chromosome. Both these are associated with subependymal giant cell astrocytoma and cortical tumors. Then we have Li-Fraumeni syndrome. This Li-Fraumeni syndrome is also an autosomal dominant condition which is associated with defect in TP53 gene on chromosome 17q13. This Li-Fraumeni syndrome is associated with astrocytoma and also primitive neuroectodermal tumor. It is associated with astrocytoma and primitive neuroectodermal tumor, right? Then we have the next tumor which is called as Cowden syndrome. Okay, this Cowden syndrome is also an autosomal dominant condition which is associated with mutation in PTEN gene on chromosome 10q23. This includes dysplastic gangliocytoma of cerebellum. This includes dysplastic gangliocytoma of cerebellum, which includes Lermets-Duclos disease. Lermets-Duclos disease. Okay, this is Cowden syndrome. Then, if there is, what is the most common tumors based on the age group? We will see that. So, most common tumors in the first year of life, mainly the supratentorial tumors predominate in the first year of life. These supratentorial tumors include choroid plexus and also complex tumors and teratomas. These include choroid plexus, complex tumors and teratomas. Okay, that is in first year of life. Then choroid plexus, complex tumors and teratomas. From 1 to 10 years of life, mainly the infratentorial tumors will predominate, and these infratentorial tumors mainly include juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma. These include juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma and medulloblastoma. These include juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma and medulloblastoma. From 1 to 10 years, infratentorial tumors will predominate, which is juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma and medulloblastoma. Then, after 10 years of age, mainly the supratentorial tumors will predominate. Okay, and among them most common being diffuse astrocytoma. This include diffuse astrocytoma. So during first year of life, supratentorial tumors predominate, which include choroidal plexus, complex tumors and teratomas. From 1 to 10 years, infratentorial tumors will predominate, mostly includes juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma and medulloblastoma. After 10 years of age, supratentorial tumors again will predominate, with diffuse astrocytomas being most common. Most aggressive tumor in children is medulloblastoma. Most common tumor in children is pilocytic astrocytoma. So, if you see, the most aggressive tumor overall in children is medulloblastoma, and most common tumor in the children is pilocytic astrocytoma. Okay, next, so we will see these important tumors. First, we will see some important points about pilocytic astrocytoma. This pilocytic astrocytoma, this is a localized astrocytoma, and this includes, we have WHO grade 1 tumor. This is a WHO grade 1 tumor, and it occurs in children, and there is indolent clinical course is seen in this pilocytic astrocytoma. It is located in cerebellum and more commonly than third ventricle, and it is also associated with optic nerve. It is localized in cerebellum, third ventricle and optic nerve, but most commonly pilocytic astrocytoma is seen in cerebellum, and it is also a biphasic tumor. And here we see Rosenthal fibers are seen along with eosinophilic granular bodies. Rosenthal fibers are seen with eosinophilic granular bodies are also seen. This is pilocytic astrocytoma. Then we have next tumor, which is medulloblastoma. This medulloblastoma is mainly, it is a grade 4 tumor, WHO grade 4 tumor. This medulloblastoma is an embryonal tumor, or you can also say it is a peanut tumor. Then it is predominantly seen in children, and it is exclusively seen in cerebellum. So it is an infratemporal tumor. infratemporal tumor. Then here dissemination occurs through CSF. CSF dissemination occurs, and this gives rise to nodular masses in some distance from the primary tumor. Because it goes through the CSF, there is masses which are present away from the primary tumor, and those are called as drop metastasis. So this tumor, if you see treatment, this is radiosensitive tumor. Medulloblastoma is radiosensitive tumor. Then the last tumor which is important is craniopharyngioma. Okay, this craniopharyngioma, it is an adamantinomatous tumors. It is adamantinomatous tumor variant of predominant in childhood. This craniopharyngioma has endocrine abnormalities, thus causing decrease in growth hormone, leading to growth failure can occur, and it can also cause delayed sexual maturation. And sometimes it causes visual changes, because craniopharyngioma can compress the optic nerve. So here the main role of craniopharyngioma is surgery. Thank you for watching.